We are doing the world premiere of a great piece of music written by Ronaldo Cadeu. It's his ballet, Crime and Punishment, based on Dostoevsky's novel. It features 4 soloists. One of them is Benjamin Hoffman, sitting here with us. He's the solo violinist. We also have a solo accordion, solo piccolo, and solo E-flat clarinet. And it's going to be a 70-piece orchestra. So this is for large orchestra. And many people from LSU School of Music are going to play in the orchestra with us. This is also my final conducting recital here at LSU. I'm about to finish my doctoral program in conducting. The piece was written by Ronaldo as his master's thesis here in LSU. When he was going to school here, he wrote it. And, then he went away back to Brazil for a couple of years. Now he's back. Benjamin flew down from Bloomington, where he goes to Indiana University, studies violin there with Alex Kerr, right? And we're going to be there at Episcopal High School at 8 p.m. on Thursday evening. We're going to start the concert with a piece by Dinos Konstantinides, who's the professor of composition here at LSU School of Music, and he was Ronaldo's teacher while he was here. So the first piece of the program is Dinos Konstantinides' guitar concerto, and Ronaldo, who's a magnificent guitar player, is going to be the soloist for this first piece. And then after a short intermission, we'll play Crime and Punishment. We wanted somebody to play this solo part who we knew was going to be solid. And Benjamin is a great violinist, and he came in first rehearsal last night. It was great. There's also a really cool connection, I think. I'm from Costa Rica, and the music director of the Costa Rican National Symphony for many years, Erwin Hoffman, who I grew up watching Maestro Hoffman conduct the National Symphony in Costa Rica from when I was 8 years old or something. He happens to be Benjamin's grandfather.
Well, it's very interesting that we have many cool connections surrounding the creation of that piece, because I was working very hard on that piece from when I was here doing my PhD, and Raúl was and is my very good friend here, and he was visiting me once in a while when I just disappeared because I was just composing, and I worked in that piece one entire year of my life to compose it. And when I was choosing a plot to my ballet, I decided to use Crime and Punishment, which is one of the most important novels ever written. And it is a big challenge to try to express, to transform literature in music. Of course, it's similar when you try to transform literature in cinema, but it's closer. You have to adapt. So I made an adaptation of the plot, and I tried to convey the emotions and the descriptions and the moods of the characters musically. So I used many different techniques, which was very interesting as in a standpoint of a student that was exploring all these possibilities in the orchestra. And that's why I have chosen such a big orchestra. It's a full symphony orchestra with 70 people performing and all these different soloists, because it's not usual to have an accordion within an orchestra, but the accordion fits so well the description of the character of Marmieladov, which is a drunk man.
I do think the selection of instruments for the soloists that represent the characters of the book is really, really good. It really kind of captures the essence of each character.
And it's amazing for me that Raúl, that was with me in 2008, 2009 as close friend, now that he's finishing his DMA in orchestral conducting, he has chosen to premiere that piece, which is very hard work, because in orchestras you have a standard repertoire. Although some pieces can be very hard to perform, all the musicians already know those pieces. But when you start to do a world premiere, the piece that nobody ever heard of before, it's a big challenge, and Raúl is not afraid of it, and I'm
Well,
very happy with the opportunity.
It's truly a great piece of music, and I think that it needs to be heard. And I have no doubt that for this piece, this is just the start. And I'm hoping that after this performance, that there will be many more.
I was just talking with Ronaldo about what it feels to play the violin part, and well, I think it's probably goes for the other solo instruments as well. Just that the textures are so different. The background of the orchestra and the different things required of our instruments are very varied in this piece. So, sometimes the very beginning, for instance, starts out really, it's very calm what I have to play, and although it's preceded by a very large crescendo and attack, so what is left is this calm, note that is suspended by the violin part, and that's contrasted with some really fast and aggressive kind of playing. And so, I mean, it's not, it happens in other parts of the repertoire, but it's certainly a very, very extreme and varied kind of playing. And in the end, you find a lot of different atmospheres and moods emerging from the different techniques that Ronaldo employs.
And when Benjamin said, I find the violin part to be schizophrenic, Ronaldo said, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Raskolnikov is about to have a psychological meltdown, because
this is the character that's portrayed by the violin.
And the violin is portraying Raskolnikov, which is the main character in Crime and Punishment. And for those who doesn't know, Raskolnikov is that very young student, very poor in St. Petersburg, and he's brilliant. And he is having these ideas to go and kill a spiteful old lady. She's not a good person, and he's really having these different feelings about it. And the violin expresses this incredible struggle inside him. And actually, Raskolnikov literally means a divided man in Russian. So even Dostoevsky tried to convey this, naming the character. So the violin has to express these very different moods, because Raskolnikov, he's very poor, but whenever he finds somebody that is in a bad situation, he gives his money, because he thinks that that's the right thing to do. But at the same time, he's the one that's going to murder. So it's a lot of conflict there.
And in general, I mean, Dostoevsky is all about portraying the inner minds of characters, and it's kind of an amazing feat for somebody to try to put into music. I mean, literature, but then music, like what is in the minds of people. And so it seems like that's what you're trying to do with the violin and the Raskolnikov character, as well as the other solo instruments and the orchestra, which is kind of everything else. And so